rich man's world. I have turned the soul.
Okay. Hello, Faking It fam, and welcome to the Faking It podcast. I am here with Auntie L. Thank you.
What's up?
What's up? Y'all, Auntie L, we just created a TikTok for her, and she's already popping off. So y'all got to follow Yo Auntie L now.
Auntie L.
Yo Auntie L right now on TikTok. I think I'll tell everyone really quickly how we became pals.
Go ahead.
So I was in a class, which I was auditing at Stanford.
Wasn't supposed to be in the class.
I was not supposed to be in that class. And you spoke and told your story to the class. It was a class on human trafficking, the history, everything about it. And I was so moved by your story, I emailed you right away after that class. And I said, hey.
No, you emailed me during the class. I wasn't even done. And I received your email.
Did I do that? Really?
Yeah, you did, really. Because I'm like, looking at my email, and I'm
so
like,
funny.
okay, so no, you emailed me while we were still talking.
Oh, so you sold me even before you finished talking. That's how sold I was by you.
That's right.
So while you're talking, I'm emailing you like, hey.
Right. I'm like, okay, I can do two things. I can read the email and I could still be talking, but I'm like, whoa, this girl serious. Look at her. She emailing me right now. She's still in the class. But go ahead.
So funny. So yeah, I emailed you saying, would love for you to come onto my podcast. I want you to share your story with the Faking It fam. And you said, yeah, I'm free to Zoom like next week. Let's do that. And I was like, where do you live? And you said Ohio. And I was like, all right, let's do next week. I'll come to Ohio.
Right.
And that's kind of how it happened. And you're like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
But okay.
In this podcast, I do interview style and I ask you like questions. Honestly, I don't want to speak. I want you to speak. I want to hear your story. I want my Faking It fam to hear your story. Everything from where you're from, what you've been through, because people need to know what's going on in this country, what's going on in the world. And I think that you can really shed light on so many people's lives, so many girls' lives and lived experiences. So yeah, you wanna share your story with us?
Well, just my story is so much more than just human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I am rebranding my organization and remarketing my organization because my story is so much more. I have a strong belief in God, and I understand people that don't, they don't. I ain't mad at you. We can still be cool. We right here.
Right.
But you believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe. And I'm a damn sure respect you no matter what you believe.
Yeah.
But my belief is that's what allowed me to make it through. If I didn't have God in my life, I would be dead when I was 11 being trafficked. There's just no other way. So when you have a passion for what you do, it just comes natural. And it's no longer a job. It's something that it's your purpose. It becomes your purpose. So my dad was a pimp and my mother was a hoe. My father had a stable of 13 women. That means he had 13 women underneath him. And my mother was his bottom bitch, it's called. Okay. And what that means is that it was like that was his wife. But they weren't legally married. And if anything happened to him, those women were to report to my mother. So my mother came home one day, I believe I was like 4. And she told my father, I sent her to get him something to eat. And she told my father that these men called her a bitch. And I told my sisters he's going to kill him because I sent him get his gun. And that's exactly what he did. He shot and killed both of them.
Wow.
So,
and this is in Michigan.
This was in Michigan, yes.
Yeah.
So and my father was a big drug dealer, a huge drug dealer. He would go back and forth to Mexico. So it's like so many agencies was looking for him, but he was so slick and so savvy with what he did. Nobody could catch him for nothing. So, okay, when you go kill 2 people, they gonna catch your ass, you know? It's automatic. So, and he do it in front of broad daylight in front of everybody.
Wow.
So, he got arrested. And my mother, they knew what was going on, and they knew my mother was also an alcoholic. So that's how they got in and removed all of us. So the very first night I was in foster care, I was 4 years old, I was sodomized and raped by the father and the son.
Oh my goodness.
Repeatedly for 2 years before somebody paid attention to what my grandmother was saying.
And you're 4 years old in this
I was 4 years old. And my grandmother kept telling him something's wrong with Sandy, something's wrong with her, you know what I'm saying? So, nobody was listening, but they didn't want to listen. And ain't that they didn't understand, they didn't want to listen. Because you have to understand, I'm like a Skittle. I'm like the rainbow. I'm black, white, Indian, and Mexican. So in 1970, because I'm 56 years old. So in 1970, it's racism right now. White people don't want black people around them. Well, I didn't fit in the white area. I didn't fit in the Mexican area. I didn't fit in the black. I didn't fit in none of that because in the Indian either. So, so they put me with white families. So I was viciously, molested and stuff for a minute. Nobody was listening to my grandmother. So finally she got somebody to listen. What she did was threaten them. She was going to go to the papers if did nobody do nothing. And my family, my grandfather was very prejudiced. He didn't like no niggas, period. And by my mother sleeping with a nigga, his words, it was just terrible. So my grandmother ended up trying to divorce. She did divorce my grandfather, get custody of us. But by this time, other things had happened. So that's the side of my mother's side of my family. Some of my uncles and them, they were like that because I forgave them as I got older because that's how they were raised. I can't be mad at them because that's how they was raised. That ain't they fault. That's how they were raised. Yeah. So anyway,
that's a cool perspective to have too.
Right, because that's how they were raised. Yeah. So when they asked me to forgive them, hell yeah, I forgave them because that's how they were raised. I ended up going to the bomb foster family. I mean, this was the bomb foster family. I love them to death. I still call. Well, my father passed, and my mother she has dementia now, but they had 9 children of their own. Wow. 1 boy and 8 girls. And they just loved on me so hard. You know, I had my own pony. Yeah. That was the shit to me. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. They taught me how to swim. That's why I love to swim to this day.
How old are you at this point too?
I was 6.
All right. Okay.
So I ended up staying with them for almost 3 years. And I just fell in love. They fell in love with me and I fell in love with them. They had to learn how to do a black girl's hair. You know what I'm saying? So if you saw that picture, remember the picture Kathy showed with the ringlets and stuff? Remember that one? Yeah. It took her a while, but she was determined, you know, to learn how to do my hair like that. Yeah. But the picture that you're gonna show, I show that picture because I was 4 years old and I was being molested. I showed that picture to show people that you have to look deeper. Because you look at that picture, you would never know. Right. But if you look deeper beyond that, you will know. Yeah. But I use that picture because that's what the bomb foster family took the time out to learn. The other people sent me to somebody, a black family, to do my hair. But the bomb foster family, their name was the Coochies, and they just loved on me. Yeah. So they wanted
just so people know, the picture is you just being super cute as a 4-year-old. Right. You know, and you look so innocent and happy. Right. But like the point is that you were being raped and you were being abused. Right. And nobody can see that from the surface, and that's why it's so powerful. That's exactly what people need to do. You got to look below the surface. Yeah. You have to dig. Because if you're just going to look at the surface, paint looks good at the surface. Yeah. But if it gets a scratch on it on a car, it's messed up. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to look beneath the surface.
And that applies also to human trafficking for the most part, right? You have to look inside the rooms. You have to look below the surface because on the surface level, it could look fine. Right. But it's
even when you're at truck stops. Yeah. Even when you're anywhere in a restaurant and stuff, if you see a dude with a girl that ain't trying to make eye contact with you and don't seem like that's her daddy or her mama or something, interfere. Because all you can do is be wrong. But if you're right, you're saving somebody's life.
You're fat. That's so true. Right.
Yeah. If you're wrong, so what? They pissed at you, okay? Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, that's true.
Whoop-de-doo. But if you're right, you're saving somebody's life.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and also, looking below the surface, that's just like a lake. A lake look calm as hell. But it's all kind of scavengers underneath that lake. Yeah. Alligators, you don't see crocodiles. You know what I'm saying?
I know
so you got to look. You ain't finna just jump in that damn lake like that if you know it can be infested. So, I love that. Yeah. Hell no, you're going to test the waters. You get what I'm saying? And I mean test the waters by trying to find out what's going on. So anyway, I even still to this day in 2022, reunification through Children's Service Board or CPS or whatever anybody calls it in their state, the foster care system, is all about reunification. All right. They want to reunify you with your parents. They really do. You know, that's their mission. And some is good and some is bad. Right. But back then they really wanted to. They want a black girl, mixed girl, colored girl, zebra. I was called zebra all through school when I was with these people. You know what I'm saying? So monkey, zebra, all kind of names. So they want to reunify you. So I ended up going back with my mother, even though this foster family wanted to adopt me. And then my little sister Penny came, and she was a full-blooded Indian, and they did end up getting to adopt her. Wow. So I ended up going back with my mother. And when I went back with my mother, her boyfriend was molesting me and stuff. And did my mother know? Whatever. It doesn't even matter whether she knew or what she didn't know, because this is not my mother's story. This is my story. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, totally. So, but needless to say, it was going on. You know what I'm saying? So, around 10, like that, I started running away. 9 and a half, 10 years old, I was running away.
So
And
young.
yeah, but so what? I didn't care. You know, I'd rather be in the streets than somebody molesting me at night and stuff, or just when my mother in the living room, I go into the bathroom and they doing whatever they trying to do to me. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't on all that. So, and then once again, I was very knowledgeable in the streets because of my daddy. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in that life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like I was new to the streets.
Right.
I never forgot the life I came from. Even though my daddy went to prison, and even though my mother was a hoe, it don't matter. You take me from my parents, but look what happened to me. My parents loved the hell out of us kids, and they weren't letting nothing happen to us. So I ended up running away. And then the people that my father killed, their sons kidnapped me and took me, and they trafficked me all over the United States from 11 till I was 12 and a half years old and before I was rescued.
And what does that mean, they trafficked you all around?
It means they took me all over the United States and sold me to whoever wanted me for a year and a half.
Just you, or were there other girls too?
Just me. I don't know what was there when I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they did when they went out of the room or went out of the suite. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And that wasn't a concern of mine. The concern of mine was getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was guerrilla style pimped. And that's the worst kind of pimp that you can be. It's like they beat you viciously.
Oh shit.
And like when I was found, I was 2 weeks away from death. They said, you know, I would have been dead in 2 weeks. Because you gotta remember, my daddy killed they daddies. You think they cared about? People on this podcast could never even imagine the things that they allowed and had done to me because my daddy killed their daddy. They was gonna make my daddy pay, and they was gonna do it by killing their daughter in the worst way possible. What other way? I would have rather they shot me dead in the head, you know, when it happened. But once again, I have these God moments, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I told you this, that it's like I was no longer in my body when all the terrible things were being done in my body. It's like one time, I feel like I was with the angels up above, and they were protecting me. One time I looked down below to see what was being done to my body. Yeah. And I feel like they said, that's not you. Don't even look no more. We're right here. And I believe they carried me for that year and a half because I honestly believe that if I had not killed myself because of what happened to me, my mind would have been no good. But I fought all the time, so I was really beat. I mean, I was fighting. I was a fighter. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. They was not breaking.
You were 11 at this point,
but they weren't breaking my spirit. I watched my daddy. My daddy was hardcore. They was just not gonna break my spirit. So it was even worse because they weren't gonna break my spirit. So you know, it was what it was. It is what it is. And I tell people, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, if I had to live my life all over again, knowing everything that happened to me, I would. Because I have literally saved young girls' lives because of my story. So, and grown women's lives, and grown boys and men's lives because of my story. And by being real and being able to say, this shit happens. Yeah. Okay? Let's deal with it. You know, I ain't telling you to forget shit because you ain't gonna never forget it. Right. But what I'm telling you is, there's hope. Yeah. We can laugh and smile all day long because I have forgiven my traffickers. I have forgiven every trick that tricked and paid money for me to do the things. Everybody that beat me, I forgive all of them. I forgive every single person that let anything happen to me, because if I, for one moment, let them be in my mind or not forgive them, they still have some control over me, and I'll be damned if I let anybody have control over me like that. So I had to let it go.
How can you elaborate on that, on the forgiving part?
Because if I allow to be, if I allow for myself to hate them, it takes some shit to hate somebody. You ain't worth that shit. So I ain't got time to hate your ass because you're not even a blimp on my memo. You ain't even nothing. You're not even a speck of dirt, a speck of dust. Yeah. I don't even see you. Yeah. So if you're not in my mind, then you ain't nothing. And that's exactly what you were. And that's exactly what you are, nothing to me.
So you're saying that by forgiving somebody, it kind of takes away this weight of them just being in your thoughts, and then you can move on because they're no longer there? If
you don't forgive somebody, or if you hate somebody, it takes a little bit of your energy to do that. I don't care what you say. Right. But it can flash. You can pick something up that you know they used to like, or you can see a car, you know, and then for a flash, you be like, oh, that bitch, or oh, that nigga, or all this, whatever. I'm just saying what people say. But for that minute, you think about that. But I don't think about none of that. I don't think about nothing that is equivalent to any of that. Because I promise you from the bottom of my heart, they not nothing. And I talk about this. I repeat my story over and over and over and over and over and over. And after I repeat it, I cleanse myself, you know, and that's it. Boom, we on to something different. What's popping? Let's go have some fun. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Right.
Because I'm not going to allow them, even through my talking and sharing my story with people, I'm not going to allow them any kind of way to ever penetrate to where it could ever bother me. That's not going to happen.
So it's just that the energy that you would put into hating somebody now, because you forgave them, you don't have that anymore.
That energy is now all focused on saving people.
Wow.
Any energy that I would have wasted on their asses, please, you ain't even worth the energy. So now all that hate I would have had for your ass, I give in love triple time to people to try to save them.
And I think what's really interesting about that is that you're turning forgiveness into something that's not directed at the person that you're forgiving, but it's actually about yourself. It's about self-love. Right. It's about, if you forgive this person, it's really for yourself. Because then you get to move on. Then you get to do your own thing. You get to live your own life outside of who they are and what they've done to you. And that's so powerful. Yeah,
and don't get it twisted. That shit don't happen overnight. You know, that stuff don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, I got raped, I'm going to forgive that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a process.
Yeah.
And if you never forgive that person, that's all right too. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
But if you don't forgive that person, make sure that you don't hold that animosity every single day for that person, because you're taking some of your happiness away. You're taking some of your happiness you could be giving to your husband. You could be giving to your child. You taking that bitterness away from something that you could be making joy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I told you last night, everybody has a season. And everybody has a chapter. Yeah. You just no longer a chapter in my book, boo boo. I ain't mad at you. I love you to death. Yeah. But your chapter is closed.
Yeah.
So now it's time to move on. So close the chapter on the bullshit that hurt you. Yeah. And open up the chapter of being a beautiful, better person and loving on everybody. And you could be the bomb person right now. Yeah. But if you and you don't even gotta call it forgiveness. You ain't even gotta call it that. Just be like, I don't think about this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, it's gone. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Right. But don't let anybody hold a little bit of control over your life that hurt you, because obviously they didn't care nothing about you if they hurt you. Right. So don't give them the satisfaction in the time of day, because they didn't care. So why should you? Yeah. That's really powerful. Yeah. It's the truth. Yeah. I keep it real. That's just, I mean, this is you keep it real. It's just true.
And this is a shout out right now, really quickly, that everybody should listen to your podcast, Keeping It Real. First episode is being recorded today, so it's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And Miriam is definitely helping me. And people have been telling me for at least 5 years, your energy, girl, come on, do this. So I'm excited to even give it a try. Yeah. I don't know. But you know what? I ain't no punk, and I ain't scared of nothing. Yeah. I ain't been through everything I've been through in my life to be scared. So I'm going to give this a shot. Totally. And hopefully that we are going to be successful and I reach more people's lives, because that's just the tip of the iceberg, what I've shared so far. You know, there's so much more.
So how many people are experiencing this kind of like trajectory that you've experienced, like in the U.S., let's say? Like what?
Well, they say statistically, Share Hope International, which is very good friends of mine, Linda Smith, who wrote a book about me and 3 other survivors called Renting Lacey. Yeah. Linda says there's over 300,000 children, 12 to 14 years old, that's being trafficked in the United States. But one thing that is true is that human trafficking is the second largest money making not in the United States, in the world. It's the next to drugs and weapons. Wow. Human trafficking is, because it's just not about somebody took me and trafficked me out. What about all the labor trafficking? Yeah. What about the tricking of the girls to come down here, taking their passports, You know,
Right.
and then what about bringing people from Mexico or wherever they're bringing them from, working them in the fields? That's just slavery all over again. That's what we were. We were slaves. We fought 400 years to get free. So it's the same thing. That's the name of my organization, Standing Together Against Real Slavery. That's just slavery.
Right.
And that got abolished. So why are we still doing it?
Right.
So there's all kind of different trafficking aspects. You know, immigrants come, the papers is taken.
Right.
I mean, you know, so there's just so much. It's just not, people just need to understand that it's just not the vicious, violent part. It's all violent, but it's also tricking people, you know, and things like that.
Yeah, it's the lack of freedom for the most part. It is modern day slavery.
It's
and
modern day slavery.
You know, and the numbers are growing and they're just
Yes,
getting worse. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that this is happening to so many people.
Right.
You know?
Until it hits home.
Right. Exactly.
When it starts hitting the white families, and I don't mean that because I don't got white in me.
Right.
But when it starts hitting, okay, I use this as an example.
Yeah.
Black people been doing heroin since the 1960s.
Yeah.
Didn't nobody give a fuck about what we was dying. Nobody cared. Good, they died. Matter of fact, who was supplying it to us? So, with that being said, American Gangster is a true story. You know what I'm saying? So, who was supplying him with it? White people. So, I just say it was a huge problem, but we was killing ourselves. But now, 2022.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah.
Oxycontins come out. We weren't getting no Oxycontins. White people was getting Oxycontins.
Right.
80s. They kids was taking them out of there. They was having these, what they called, where they put all the pills in a bowl, in the punch bowl, and they just take them and they drink and they take all of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And well, it was until opioids became a huge thing.
Right.
But my point is, and once again, I'm not prejudiced about nothing.
Yeah.
But now, because so many white people and young white Caucasians are dying from this, it's a huge freaking pandemic. It's an epidemic. It's huge now.
Yeah.
But in the 1960s, it was worse than this, but then nobody cared.
Right.
So now it's huge. Now,
That's really interesting.
if a man or a woman sells, let's say you sell me heroin.
Yeah.
And I shoot it up and die, you going to prison for murder. That's the law now. That wasn't the law before.
Wow.
But now they're, and that's just how, that's how I feel. And it's not my only opinion. And once again, I'm not prejudiced against nobody because I got too much mixed up blood up in me for that.
Yeah.
But we all need to take a look at what's going on. And trafficking, it wasn't a big deal when there was a lot of black girls going missing. But then when it started getting Caucasian women, because that's what the men wanted, was the 12, 11 young girls, or when they were taken from overseas, brought here when they were that young, then it just started becoming a problem. You know, but it's a problem. I don't care what nationality you is. I don't care who you are. If somebody is taking your freedom away and they are abusing you, that is a problem.
And I think what you said is really interesting. Like the movie Taken, for example, that film is, for a lot of people, their introduction to human trafficking. I know for me, it was my introduction to what human trafficking is. I was 13 years old. I saw that film at a summer camp, and I had nightmares for 2 months following. So I was like, I didn't know that such evil existed, you know? And I think what you're saying is really interesting. That film itself is a rich white girl goes to France, you know, gets abducted, gets trafficked, and that was the idea, even for me, of what human trafficking looked like. You have to be careful when you travel. You have to be careful when, you know, you go somewhere out at night by yourself, like in foreign countries. But to your point, that's not what human trafficking only is. It's so much more than that. It's happening right here with all sorts of people.
That is reality. Exactly what happened to her, every single part of what happened to her is reality. But it ain't happening in France. It's happening right here. It's happening in Toledo. Toledo was the #1 recruiting spot in the United States in 2006 to 2009.
Wow.
Nobody could understand how that was. We had one of the first FBI task forces in this United States because we were the #1 recruiting spot. And the reason we were is because all the interstates.
What do you mean?
They were Indiana, Harrisburg, Detroit, Michigan. It's quick to grab them and go across the state lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they get them and they gone.
Yeah.
They're just gone. They're just missing. So they were being recruited.
Right.
There was a case called the Innocence Lost Precious Cargo case, and they there was 177 women that were arrested in this case. It was out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Of the 177 women and girls, there were 77 of them that came from Toledo, Ohio. Out of the 77, 38, I believe, were underage girls. How could 38 underage girls be gone and don't nobody know about it?
That's crazy.
So the FBI came to my building. I had just started my first organization, and I cussed them out. I wasn't talking to them. It took me 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't fucking with y'all, man. I don't talk to the police. You know, this is in 2006. I'm like, no. So this man, for 6 months, he kept trying to talk to me. And I felt like the police was just full of shit. And I still feel like they're full of shit now, but not all of them. I respect a whole lot of police.
That's
I train
cool.
a whole lot of Homeland Security, DOJ, police, and everything.
Wow.
And yes, some are full of shit, and I tell them to their face when I'm doing training. I be like, you would be the one that's full of shit, and I want to talk to. And people look like, oh my God, no, she did not say that. Yes, the hell I did.
Yeah.
And the person that get all red and shit, I don't care. And then afterwards, everybody else come up to me and be like, yeah, L, because we want to say that. Well, you can just see it. I promise you. So there are that many more that are awesome. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, I was just getting out the streets. I mean, not out the streets, but I was just getting into this. I wasn't finna talk to them.
Yeah.
I was a crackhead.
Yeah.
You know, I was out here. Some of these people, I used to go with their uncles and shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to make sure that I was going to be safe doing what I was doing. And they told me, they was like, we told them not to mess with them young girls.
Cool.
So I ended up getting 13 of the young girls to testify.
Wow.
11 or 13 of them to testify.
Is it
when
hard to
nobody
get?
else could.
Is it
of
hard?
course.
Why?
Because they're pimp controlled.
Okay.
You know, if you come from a family that you ain't got nothing, your mother is on drugs, or let's not even say your mom's on drugs. Let's just say your mother is working.
Okay.
And she has to work 2 jobs.
All right.
She has 4 kids. She has to work 2 jobs to make sure all of y'all have tennis shoes and school clothes and Pampers and all of that. Okay, so what? She got 4 kids. What we do? She got 4 kids. Get over it. Some people say, well, she shouldn't have 4 kids. It don't matter. She got 4 kids. So let's get over the bullshit about she got 4 kids. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. So she working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
So with her working 2 jobs, how much attention can she pay for her kids? So somebody has to watch the kids. So if a young girl sees that her friends that might be living a little bit better, let's say, you know, some of her friends, white or black, it doesn't matter, are living a little bit better than her. She wants that. But she ain't mad. She ain't going to hate on her friends. But that's something she wants.
Yeah.
So if a dude comes by and can see that she's longing for something, all they got to do is trick her. I'm your boyfriend now. You know, I'll be your boyfriend. You know, come on, I'll buy you this necklace with your name on it. Yeah. I'll buy you this Coach bag or Michael Kors bag. I'll buy you these tennis shoes. Look at me, I got all this. I got stacks, you know. Yeah. Come on, I'll take care of you, baby. I love you. Yeah. I'm out here selling dope. So, you know, and if you know, and then just get her in, and then, you know, he does everything for her. Makes the young girl fall in love with it's grown women that fall in love with people like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it doesn't matter really. Yeah. And really thinks that they really love them. And then at the end of the day, okay, baby, well, I'm selling dope. I'm taking a big chance to buy you all this stuff. Right. All you got to do is go get some pussy away. You know, that ain't nothing. I'm still going to love you. At the end of the day, we still going to be in together. You know, boom, boom, boom. That's a finesse pimp. That's a Romeo pimp. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that shit don't last long. And then she gets their well, these are my nails, so I don't be talking about but gets their nails done and gives them things that they would normally not have. And you know, that's how things, you know, come about. You know, because everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody wants somebody to care about them. Yeah. You know, everybody does. Yeah. If they say they don't, that's a lie. Yeah. You know, I ain't got no man, but damn, I want somebody to love me. You know, at the end of the day, I want you to go back to Stanford and be like, booyah, I got to meet her and y'all did. Oh my God, all y'all got was Zoom. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody to be happy that they got to see me because that's going to make me happy. Totally. You know, or that They love the way I went to a talk or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't crave attention, but I want to feel like I'm appreciated for what I do.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to feel like you know, like I just told you earlier, I said, I want you to know I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I say that to a lot of people all the time because to me it's a word that people don't use and it should be used, even to the kids, because they need to know that they're appreciated.
Yeah.
If your daughter is watching your kids while you go to work, okay, I respect you, you're working hard. But if she's watching them, you know, and you can't give her nothing, give her love and praise. Baby, thank you.
Yeah.
Because you are helping us to make this work.
Totally.
Even a young man, you know, they get tricked.
Yeah.
You know, and or if they're gay, they get tricked out there. And even if they're not gay, they can get tricked, because that's a real guerrilla style pimping when they take a young man that's not gay. And how do you think a young man can bounce back from that once they're rescued? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
So you went through all of this, and then what happened?
What do you mean?
In terms of like you got saved from being trafficked, right? When you were...
And then I got saved. I ended up going back to my mother.
Yeah.
And the molestation started again. So I ran away, and I started a gang of 130 girls called the Young Girls Incorporated. And we were just like lost souls, you know. We were a family.
Yeah.
You know, but let me clarify this. We were a family that did not prey on others. That's very important. These gangs nowadays prey on others. We were a gang, but we preyed on nobody. We sold our own dope. We hold our own selves.
Wow.
We stole our own food,
Yeah.
but we did not kill nobody. We did not rob nobody.
Yeah.
We did not do any kind of violence, and that needs to be understood.
Yeah.
Because I believe that there probably are gangs still out here like that, because okay, there are gangs, but you just wouldn't call them a gang.
Yeah.
When I was going through South Sac, and when I was going through Stockton, I think it was, on a train, my first time ever on a train, I had to go through there, and I seen this huge community of homeless people. Man, I cried, and I don't cry. Ain't no tears left in me.
Yeah.
If I cry, it's because I'm pissed off. You need to get up out of my way.
Yeah.
But I noticed tears coming down my face, and I took a couple pictures, and I put on Facebook, and I was like, this is some bullshit. You know, how can we live in America and this should be happening when we have a fucked up day?
Yeah.
You guys need to remember this, and I put it on Facebook. And my thing is that we think we have bad days. Look at these people. They didn't necessarily. Everybody always wants to say, well, they made that happen to themselves. That's not true. A person can be working a job at Jeep or Chrysler or whatever and lose that job, and then what are they supposed to do? They can't pay their mortgage no more. You know, I mean, shit happens.
Yeah.
It ain't always about they was on drugs and that's why they lost it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've met people like that. So we need to change it. So I believe that and then like today, did you notice when we handed out that food?
Yeah.
When we turned that corner.
Yeah.
After we hit the original like 12 or whatever, when we turned that corner and I pulled over to the man that was laying on the ground, before we could even get out, did you notice the kids? They wasn't even kids. They was grown people down the block. They was hollering before we could even get out. Hey, Randy, get up. Get up. They giving out food. Did you hear them when they say that?
Yeah.
That's what we were. We are family because we was looking out for each other.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they are. Because they were trying to tell them, hurry up, wake up, so you can get this food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's powerful.
You know, it's all the family out there too.
Right.
And I saw that, you know, actually when we went to the second group of people.
Too.
And also when we were pulling out, a new guy came up and somebody gave that new guy his sandwich.
Right.
Actually, which I thought was like so beautiful.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so that's kind of what we were. And there was 130 of us. And there was this man that kept on messing with us. And I shot him. And I rolled him up in the carpet and I put him on the curb. So, of course, I got caught. And the judge was like, why did you do that? I said, because damn, what's wrong with you? That's what you do with garbage. You set it at the curb.
Oh, my goodness.
That's exactly what I said. And he was like, fuck this. She crazy for real. So he was like, we're going to lock her up. And I was one of the first person ever to get juvenile life in Michigan, meaning that I was to complete my sentence. And when I was to turn 18, I was going to prison for 10 years until I was 28. So I ended up getting locked up. I ended up going to a place in Michigan, the worst place for females in Michigan, felony females. And I was placed in solitary confinement for the first 3 years I was there.
Is that legal to be in solitary confinement for 3 years?
Hell yeah.
What?
I was violent. They weren't gonna let me out because I was talking so much shit to get out about killing people. They weren't gonna let me. If they would have let me out, I probably would have killed somebody, and they would have been on them. So for them not letting me out, I ain't mad. But for their CO to be raping me the whole fucking 3 years I was there, I'm mad.
Yeah.
So yeah, and when I got out at 18, he was prosecuted, and he did end up getting 14 years. But fuck that. You put me in solitary confinement, you take me from my mama. You put me in foster care, I'm raped and jacked up, but you took me for these people because you said they ain't good. Then I end up, you put me back with my mama, and I end up getting messed up by her boyfriend. Then I get out and get a gang, I end up shooting somebody. You put me in the worst place for felons, give me juvenile life, and then you put me in solitary confinement, and this man rapes me for almost the whole 3 years I'm in there whenever he wants to.
Wow.
So you tell me what's wrong with this picture and this system. So what ended up happening was a Christian family called the Waters family kept coming, because they were pastors, him and his wife, and they would come there to preach to the girls and stuff there. I mean, it was like a lot of us. There was 60 girls, and then there was 80 boys, 80 colleges of boys, 20 in each college, and then 3 colleges of girls, and 20 in each college. They would come to see me, and I would cuss them out. You're too young, but you might know the movie Sybil. It's a movie where her head spinned around and shit, and she was like throwing up, like she was possessed.
All right.
And that's how I was talking to them, like I was possessed.
Yeah.
And but they kept coming back and kept coming back, and I'm like, you guys just want to go back to wherever the fuck Toledo is. I don't know where the hell Toledo is. Yeah, I ain't from Ohio. Y'all just want to go back and tell somebody that you trying to help a little poor ass kid that got locked up. And so finally they did get to me, and I ended up getting out of solitary confinement, and I ended up doing not good but decent. I didn't go back to solitary confinement. And then when it got close to me being 18, I knew I was getting ready to go to prison. So I set the whole fucking half the facility on fire. Wow. And I ended up getting locked up in the jail, in Lenawee County Jail. I don't care if people know where it's at. In Lenawee County Jail. And there was one judge there. It was a one county judge. And he was like, what the hell is going on with this girl? Have y'all seen her record? Have you seen everything that has happened to her? There's no way hell I'm gonna send her to prison. We gotta figure out something. So he did. What he figured out was for me to go with the Waters family. Wow. And he asked them would they take me, because they had heard there was hits out to kill me, because the man I had shot was a drug dealer. And he lived, and he paralyzed from the neck down still to this day. So he's still alive. So they said, yeah, they would. So I ended up coming to Toledo, Ohio, and staying with them. And I wasn't used to their life. You know, this is a Christian family. You know, I just wasn't used to their life. I tried, but I wasn't used to their life. And they didn't put no heavy stipulations on me. Just respect their home, you know, stuff like that. But then my brother, like, they went out of town, and my little brother, he was 14. He was like, come on, let's steal the car. I'm like, I'm going to hell. I'm messing up the pastor's kids. This is how I truly felt. Yeah. So I had to leave. I told him I had to leave, you know. And then at this point, what's wrong with going selling pussy to people that's used to be taken from me? Right. So now I'm going to do it myself. Yeah. And because I was young, skinny, beautiful, long hair down my butt, you know, just cute. So I'm going to go out here and get paid. And then that's what's called a renegade. So that's what I did. I just went out there. And then I ended up getting addicted to crack. By one of my kids' father got me addicted to crack. And so then I was no longer, I used to call myself, and I describe it as, I was with the dope boys, but I wasn't doing drugs. And I was with men that had prestige. And I used to call myself the emblem on a car.
Okay.
A Jaguar has that emblem. That's
Yeah.
what represents the Jag, the
Yeah.
Benz, the Caddy. I was just the emblem on somebody's car.
All right.
You know, eye candy on the arm. I didn't describe it like that. I was the emblem on they Jag, on they high-ass Bentleys and shit. So then I got addicted to crack. So I was no longer that. Then I'm a crackhead. I'm a crack hoe.
Wow.
Even though I'm fine, even though I'm wearing furs and shit, I'm still a crack hoe because I'm addicted to crack. So then as it gets worse, you're no longer sexing or whatever for money. You sexing for that dope.
Wow.
You know, you sucking dicks and shit for shit that don't last but a second, but you doing it because you craving that dope.
Right.
This is what you doing, you know. And I'm real with it. I don't care because somebody need to hear this and somebody need to know that there's hope after this, you know.
Yeah.
My sons are my kings. I have 3 sons and then I have 5 other sons that my youngest son has. I helped raise them too. So I say I got 8 sons.
Yeah.
So they said, Mama, when I told them what I was gonna start to do, and one of them went to Catholic school, I said, look, y'all know y'all mama. So this ain't gonna be no little shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going in the paper, I'm doing anything I can to save people's lives.
Yeah.
There's like, do what you gotta do. So they my heroes.
That's awesome.
Because they told me no, it wouldn't be no L today.
Yeah.
You know? So
Wow.
I had to break that generational curse and they allowed me to do that.
That's awesome.
So my sons are my heroes.
That's amazing.
So it's very important that I always recognize them. So then after, you know, all of that happened, you know, I was addicted to drugs and stuff. And then, you know, I finally, my first 2 children, my first 2 sons, I was addicted to drugs. There's no way in hell they were going to be with me if something happened to them like what happened to me and they get taken and stuff. So I placed them, one with one aunt and one with another aunt.
Right.
Then I got pregnant with my last son and everybody was telling me, I will take him. He wasn't even here yet, so that pissed me off. So I fought to get clean. And my ex-husband, who passed away a couple years ago, he got out of prison and he found me. He was like, I ain't selling dope no more. I've been in love with you since you hit Toledo at 17. Let's get this shit together. Let's get your kids back. Let's do what we got to do. His name was Matthew Dishman. And that's what we did. So it was a struggle, you know, getting off that dope hard as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes he would think I'm off of it and I go in, it's called closet smoking. They just didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's hard. It's a story within itself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So we're
gonna
but it's a story within itself. Yeah. So we're sticking to this story because this story really mainly about the trafficking and everything. So I ended up getting all my sons back, and I want people to know that I'm real about what I do. That's why my podcast is gonna be called Keeping It Real, because I ain't got no bullshit. Because I'm out here for real. So I can't even have no skeletons in my closet, because trust me, their ass is gonna be found. So, you know, I have a son right now that's going through his own demons, doing drugs and alcoholic. I have another son that's gay, thinks I hate him, but I don't hate him, nigga. I don't care what you do. You could be in high heel shoes and whatever and walk down the street. It ain't me. So why do I care? It ain't no man sexing me or there ain't no woman sexing me. You could be whatever you want to be. It ain't got nothing to do with me, but that's what they feel. And I share that because I want people to know my life ain't all still right now because I went through everything. My life ain't all cherries and roses and shit. You know, I struggle to pay this bill and that bill too, you know, because I don't take government funding because they not going to tell me if it's a girl in California that needs an $800 plane ticket to get the hell away from a pimp that's about to kill her. And I got a grant for $20,000, but it says I can't use it for that. You can trust and believe I'm going to use it. And then I'm going to get in trouble. So I don't even take that. I take money when I speak. I take money from my private donations and stuff, and I keep it moving. And I've been doing this time because I closed my first one in 2010, and I was like, I ain't doing it no more. I ain't doing it no more. I'm cool. I ain't helping not another hoe, another traffic victim, another. I ain't doing shit. So I shut it down for 2 years. And then I woke up one morning, and I ran down the stairs, and I was shaking my youngest son. I was like, Tony, I got my passion back. And he was like, what time is it, Ma? I said, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. He was like, well, can you get it back in a little while? Because I want to go back to bed. So that's when I started my second organization in 2012. And I've been going strong ever since.
So STARS, right?
STARS, yes.
Standing together against real slavery.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
but
really
we
awesome.
are remarketing. We are rebranding. And it's going to be called Standing Together Against, I can't remember.
All right.
But it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's in my phone, but it really is powerful what I'm changing it to. So I'm real excited about it because it's gonna, what I'm changing it to is going to support everything I'm changing it into.
Yeah.
Because just like I shared a lot of this story.
Yeah.
So there's the foster care system.
Right.
There's first is the generational curse system with my parents. Then it's the foster care system.
Yeah.
Then it's the boyfriend molestation part. Then it's the gang.
Yeah.
Then it's shooting somebody.
Yeah.
Then it's locked up.
Yeah.
Then it's raped in a facility that's supposed to help you.
Yeah.
Then it's getting out, getting on crack. It's like 15 different stories inside of my story.
Yeah.
So my story my thing will no longer just be based on human trafficking.
Yeah.
It will be based on my whole story as a whole.
Okay,
so if somebody wants me to come talk about foster care, then that's what I'm going to be going to talk about.
Yeah.
My whole story wraps around it, but I'm going to focus more on foster care.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus more on drugs. I'm going to focus more on whatever. So that's how we're going to rebrand it, because I feel that that's the chapter God said.
No, I think that's really cool. And like you said, like human trafficking, dope, being raped, the foster care system, all these things aren't independent. They all come together, you know, because of this and because of that, this happens and that happens. And so I think it makes sense, and it's so important that you're combining all of these different systems, systematic issues, and all of these like prejudices and discriminations into one just organization that covers it all. And I think that's really cool and really awesome that you can really tie it all together because you've been through it all.
Right.
You know, you're speaking from
The
your
real
own
life.
Yeah, it's from your own personal story, your own experiences. And
at the end of the day, all I do is laugh and smile because I'm here.
You're here.
And I don't have to be here. There's brothers and sisters of mine that's not here.
Yeah.
There's brothers and sisters of mine, not just from trafficking, from drugs. Every aspect got killed out there and everything. Yeah. That aren't here. So I shine my light for them. I never forget any of them. Yeah. So my smile and my good humor when I do trainings and stuff, it's them coming through to me because they didn't make it. Yeah. But a lot of my friends that are not here, they was like, it's something special about you, you know? It's something special about you. If we could just take a little bit of your energy and put it in our pocket, shit, we'd be the energized bunny times 100. Totally. You know what I'm saying? So you see how much I've been doing all day. But now I'm still here doing this podcast.
Yeah, you are. And thank you for showing up for this.
No problem.
Everyone, I'll be putting in the comments. You can donate to her organization, to STARS. It'll all be in the notes. So definitely check it out and share with your friends. Spread the word. It's really exciting what's coming in the future.
TikTok. Tell them about the TikTok.
And the TikTok. Yo, Auntie L.
Yo, Auntie L.
Yo,
What's up,
Auntie L. The letter L. Go follow your Auntie L. She'll be saying what's up a lot of times on the TikTok.
Right. That's the end. That's the thing I'm doing. I didn't think we put L on there, did we?
We did put the L on there. Yo, Auntie L. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, come check it out. Me and her going to be doing a lot of stuff together. So check us out.
All right, cool.
She's going to have my information also for the website so that you guys can donate. She's going to try to push this out by Christmas because I'm in need of helping the older kids, 13 to 15, with $50 gift cards. Yeah. That's my thing right now, getting them that. I got the younger kids taken care of. I need to help the older kids.
Y'all, it's just $50. That's like 5 coffees. So, you know, we can make it happen.
Coffee is nasty as hell. Yeah, give me that $50 because y'all don't need that damn Starbucks coffee.
All right.